Hear directly from your favorite artist in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and across the world. The Spotlight on 85.5 MasterClass Radio.
This is the first time I'm speaking with you, so let's kick off with a proper introduction. Please go ahead. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a musician, multi-instrumentalist, rapper from Bristol. I play two instruments, keyboard and trumpet. And I'm also a producer, of course. I've collaborated with a lot of musicians as well.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your ground game. And I know this is more like a let the cat out of the bag. How do you go about your traditional route, promoting your music with your fans? Yeah,
so I definitely tell, people, what by speaking to them, obviously, in real life. I also try to go and put posts up, around where I live, around my neighborhood in regards to, of course, promoting my tracks, etc. I have done live performances as well, and that's also a way that I have made more people to know about my music. Those are the ways that I have used in the past, other than social media, to get more attention.
Yeah.
For example, when you have when you have radio airplays, or if you've done a lot of live performances, if you have a certain amount of exposure, that's what record labels want. They realistically want artists to have a certain amount of exposure before they consider to take them on, basically. So for me, I did a lot of research into record labels and into what they offer, and that's my advice, really, and that's really what I would recommend for artists who are struggling, basically, to get their music heard, or to know like where they want to be, or how to become a global success. It's not impossible, of course, for anybody, but the main thing is, of course, is to do research and to know, which path you want to take, and which path suits you. That's really what I would definitely say.
How would you describe your inspiration, and what really motivated you to start doing what you are doing so far?
Yeah, so my inspiration, because I listened, as I mentioned, I listened to a lot of music growing up, and there are a lot of artists who I look up to in terms of their stories, in terms of how they made it. For me, because I have seen there are a lot of artists out there, who they work hard a lot of years grinding, but it takes them longer to get to where they want to be than other artists who are, in my opinion, there is also an element of luck that other artists get more than other artists. Yeah. I've always admired those who have their own style and always stay to themselves.
Right.
I started music firstly playing keyboards and learning how to play the keys, and then from there I transitioned to learning how to play the trumpet. I learned from a very, very young age how to read music, how to how to keep in time, how to play. And once I learned keyboard and then trumpet, and then I started to get into music production, where I started to use there was first Cubase I started to use, and then I went into Logic and Ableton, and then Pro Tools, and then I started to know how to use the studio, how to record, what mics are good for what, how to use the mixing desks, patch bass, and also APIs as well.
One skill I see a lot of independent artists exhibit is teamwork. How well do you work with other artists?
I do work well with other artists, yes. There's a lot of artists who I know on social, through social media, yes, because I've heard their music on Twitter or Instagram, etc., and it comes to my trending. It comes to my newsfeed. People that I don't even follow, post their music online, and I listen, and I definitely like their music. It's important really to not to rush with anybody, with any artist or with any band, not to rush to say or I will collaborate with them at this day or this time, or it's better just to get to know them long enough at least
to know
before considering collaborating with. For every artist, like everybody has their own style, and for every musician there are always going to be people that like your music, and there's always going to be people that don't really like it, and that's just the way it is. But for me, I just do what I have to do, and I try to stay myself. I try to I don't try and be like copy someone else's style, of course not, but I just try and be myself.
The Spotlight, hear directly from your favorite artists in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and across the world. The Spotlight on 85.5 MasterClass Radio.